Hello, Wild Woman Wellness community. I hope that you are well and ready for a new year. I'm Rebecca Johnson, a health supportive plant-based chef. This is the third of 4 videos in a series on building a strong immune system by eating more plants. So far, we've covered the benefits of the antioxidant properties of plant foods in disease prevention, and some plant foods that build and protect the gut. This session is on how to naturally boost and balance your immune system. Whether it's food, beauty, or activism, my mission is to teach the benefits of plant-based living and how to incorporate more plant foods for a whole body, a clearer mind, a more compassionate humanity, a thriving planet. You can connect with me on the web at Plant Rich Life. According to the American Cancer Society, some of the main health concerns of Americans are heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels, and stroke, among others. And most of these conditions are due to eating unhealthy foods in bigger food portions while participating in less physical activity. Not only has the American lifestyle led to 1 in 3 Americans being overweight or obese, the consequences are a laundry list of lifestyle conditions that are preventable by making better choices. This includes generational concerns. Told that conditions are passed down. Chances of getting a certain condition are greater if we continue the same habits. If we change our habits, we can actually prevent and change the health status from generation to generation. The idea that you are guaranteed to develop a hereditary condition related to lifestyle most often depends on your choices. I found that to be extremely empowering, as I have family members with some of the conditions mentioned, yet due to my lifestyle, I do not have them, nor am I being treated for them. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, excess body weight that many Americans have not only affects these conditions, also increases a person's risk for a low quality of life, depression, anxiety, and certain cancers, including breast, colon, ovarian, thyroid, and liver cancer, just to name a few. It's kind of my story and how I got started on this journey and this pivotal change to plant-based living. I've had 3 surgeries for ovarian cysts and fibroids. You can imagine the symptoms of having a heavy menses every month, which led to anemia, lots of pain, which made normal activities unbearable, skin problems because my hormones were out of whack, and excess weight that my body stored. And people congratulating me for being pregnant of my protruding belly filled with tumors and fibroids, and that made me even more miserable. About every 2 years, for about 6 years, like clockwork, the symptoms would be at their worst. My GYN at that time would want to perform a procedure. Then I would be out of work and on my back for about 2 months to mend. Every time, it was traumatic. And back then, there were no lasers. It was all performed with a knife. Sometimes I dream that I will get cosmetic surgery to cover the scars, just in case I want to feel fabulous in a bikini again. My friend calls them my battle scars, which I really like. I had never struggled with my weight, but due to the hormonal issues, I had high blood pressure, anemia, acne, terrible mood swings, and as mentioned, it affected my quality of life. It was a low time, to say the least. Here, I was being told that I needed to have a 4th surgery, and as my GYN put it, that I would have to live with this for the rest of my life. How discouraging was that? But it just so happens that in 1999, I had begun to research the connection between food and health. Due to my hormonal imbalance, I was using acupuncture, progesterone cream, herbs, and other alternative treatments, but was still in the weeds. Then I got introduced to a raw plant-based diet. That's when everything changed. When I say everything, I mean everything. Eating plant-based was my last option before a 4th surgery. Since then, even the USDA and Harvard Health recommend more vegetables and fruits as the best option for a balanced meal. When I made the decision to try eating plant-based as a way to heal and rid my body of the toxins that were plaguing it, I called my doctor and canceled the surgery. His office sent a letter in response, signed by him, that I was making a fatal decision. Prior to me canceling, he had assured me in the pre-operative appointment that the results of my blood test showed that my cells were precancerous. In other words, cancer was my future. The desperate feeling I had at that time, I can never forget. It's hard to explain, but I felt a sense of death, that if I went into the OR, I was not coming out. My will to live and avoid his proclamation pushed me into making the change to eating plant-based overnight. I believed with everything in me that it was my last resort out of the maze that Dr. X said was my demise. My introduction to a plant-based diet that healed my body came from a complete stranger who I now know was a messenger sent to help guide me into my healing journey. I immersed myself into eating a raw vegan diet. Within a couple of weeks, I felt exhilarated. In less than 3 months, I had lost 35 pounds, which was the farthest thing from my mind. I just wanted to live. Some of the other benefits were that my skin cleared up, my hair got shinier. Instead of constant hormonal weeping, my moods were completely on the upside. Most of all, though, I didn't look 5 months pregnant anymore because the tumors and fibroids had completely shrunk. I did not have a fourth surgery. It's the reason I left a successful career in the marketing industry to be certified in plant-based nutrition to become a health supportive chef. People were asking me what I had done, why I was looking younger and vibrant. It was then that I decided that I had to share this good news with others. We are what we eat. I am proof. Even more than exercise, nutrition that nourishes through vital and essential vitamins and minerals is what helps to heal the body and maintain the body and mind. Look at this graphic shown by doctors in a plant-based conference I attended. The plant on the left mirrors the brain stem on the right. I could never do this explanation justice like the doctors did. But the bottom line is the essential nature of vitamins and minerals to grow our brains, which are the basis for every function, are mirrored in plants. Research shows that lifestyle changes in diet, exercise, stress management, and social support in that order can protect telomeres in the brain and prevent aging. We need movement as engagement for our bodies in performing the necessary functions for living a well life. But to quote professional trainers, you can't out-exercise your way out of a bad diet. And with respect for this amazing machinery that we have been graced with, the body is the house or temple that holds our spirit. So giving it the best is a spiritual act of love. A solid nutritional strategy will have a far greater impact on your body than fitness. Although it's not scientific, many people ascribe to the 80-20 rule. That combination of nutrition at 80% and exercise at 20 are what make successful body changes happen. Suppose if you want to exercise more, you can. I'm at my best. I apply the 80-20 rule to raw and cooked foods, 80% raw and 20% cooked. There is a visible difference and a difference in my energy when I'm adding more raw foods to my diet. I do it a few times a year and see the regenerating effects every time. I was someone with a weak immune system, and I suffered from constant colds and the flu. But what happened when I stopped eating certain foods like dairy, milk, meat, and processed foods like sugar was that the symptoms that I had suffered with most of my life disappeared. Dr. Milton Mills, former Associate Director of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, has been following COVID-19 patients who eat plant-based. He stated that plant-based eaters contract COVID less, not suffer from the symptoms as much, get better quicker when they are exposed. It is not a scientific study, but after watching and treating his patients, he stated clearly that those who eat a plant-based diet have a lower risk of experiencing infections, contracting viruses, and having severe symptoms. Plant foods are packed with nourishing chemicals, which help the immune system work to protect healthy cells and to support the growth and activity of immune cells while producing antibodies. Eating more plant foods is protective and gives the immune system a boost because of the high intake of vitamins and low intake of fat found in animal foods. Because the immune system relies on white blood cells that produce antibodies to combat bacteria, viruses, and other invaders, vegetarians have been shown to have more effective white blood cells when compared to meat eaters due to a high intake of vitamins and lower intake of animal fat. No studies have been done on vegans yet. However, eating a low-fat diet may also be protective. Studies have shown that limiting dietary fat helps strengthen immune defenses. Research also shows that oil may impair white blood cell function and that high-fat diets may alter the gut microbiota that aid in immunity. Check out Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn at the Cleveland Clinic, who puts his clients on a low-fat, whole foods, plant-based diet that avoids all animal products and oils. I saw him speak live. Former patients who'd had 2 and 3 stints prior to seeing him, who he made promise eat a whole foods plant-based diet without animal products and oils in order to work with him, gave him a 45-second standing ovation. And several had tears in their eyes when they shared that he had saved their lives. According to the Mayo Clinic, signs of an imbalanced immune system include frequent and recurrent pneumonia, bronchitis, sinus infections, ear infections, meningitis, or skin infections, inflammation and infection of internal organs, blood disorders such as low platelet counts or anemia, digestive problems such as cramping, loss of appetite, nausea, and diarrhea. I can attest to having so many of those symptoms. And sometimes they were seasonal, which we call allergies. But since the change in my diet, that is not so. This is what we are fighting against, and we can win. Having a balanced immune system means ridding our diet of the foods and food products that damage it. It all depends on where you are in your journey. To kickstart your immune system, the first items to get rid of are the white foods, white flour, white sugar, and white rice or processed foods. Replace them with whole foods like whole grain, natural sugars, ideally in fruit sugars, or it could be date sugar, coconut, or monk fruit. What we want to do is eat food as close to the tree as possible, as few hands having processed it. That swap out or replacement make it difficult if you're following the sad standard American diet, because the most eaten foods are based on those damaging ingredients. The body cannot do daily its repair when we sleep to rid toxins if the food we are eating is lifeless. Another way to energize your body and kickstart your immune system is to combine foods so that your digestive system functions properly. Food combining is a little known art. For instance, protein and grain should not be eaten together because the enzymes that digest them are different. Incorrect food combining is often the cause of indigestion, but that is only a symptom. The result is a microbiome that cannot absorb nutrients properly. So, eating vegetables with protein or eating grains vegetables is a simple way to follow proper food combining. There are charts easily found on the web which will give you the alkaline levels of foods. It is the alkaline level in plant foods that makes eating a plant-based diet so powerful. Plants are water-based, and thereby the alkaline helps to remove toxins from the body in a natural process of digestion. Too often, people detox on herbs after eating poorly, thinking that they can wipe out the damage done, or other alternative treatments. The best treatment is to eat foods that naturally detox the body. In the last video in this series, I will be talking about elimination, which is vital to a healthy body and can help rid the body of foods and toxins. But the best scenario is finding alternatives to the unhealthy foods that our palates have been trained to enjoy, even though they're not really the best for us. Today, I have a pudding recipe for you. In my family, we're all snackers. So one of my challenges has been to substitute flavors and textures of the foods that are popular in my family that I used to miss. This recipe is a favorite of mine because it's quick to make and needs no baking or cooking. You're probably aware of it already. But it's a high antioxidant, plant-based protein-packed food that is fat-free. It's chia pudding. Chia seeds like flax are a great omega-3 food. Both flax and chia contain a good amount of protein and omega-3 fats, although flax has more protein along with additional minerals. Chia I like because it has fewer calories and more fiber, along with calcium, phosphorus, and zinc. Tablespoons of chia seeds contain about 140 calories, 4 grams of protein, 11 grams of fiber, 7 grams of unsaturated fat, and almost 20% of the daily requirement of calcium, zinc, and copper. Chia seeds are a complete protein, the nutrients that many question when you talk about eating a plant-based diet. This plant-based protein helps in reducing your appetite and food intake and promotes the building of muscle mass, bones, and reduces body fat. The fiber in chia seeds is mainly soluble. Notice a gluey texture when the seeds are moistened, which helps to remove LDL cholesterol and slow down digestion, preventing blood sugar spikes after eating a meal. The seed surface is more delicate and easily breaks apart flax when exposed to moisture, making you feel full for hours. Chia pudding is great for breakfast, snack, or dessert, and is a high satiety food, which means that it satisfies on a big scale. The nutrients help to reduce inflammation and regulate inflammatory responses in the body. Just note that there may be concerns for anyone with kidney problems because of the high levels of phosphate in chia. But as with all major changes, be sure to talk with a certified nutritionist to make sure it is right for you. Now watch me make my morning chia pudding the night before in the upcoming video.
The first thing I'm going to do is prepare my fruit. So today I have blueberries and strawberries and mango. So I'm cutting them up in bite-sized pieces because I'm going to mix it into my chia with my milk and my flavorings and let it sit overnight. And what I want is I want the fruit to meld together with the chia so that it ends up being a pudding. Of course, I'm going to have some chunks, but the fruit is soft enough, and at night, because of the milk, will get even softer, and so that will give it the texture that I'm looking for. Once I have my fruit all ready, I'm just going to set it aside. I can work on my chia, milk, and flavorings. So I have my setup, my chia, my jar, and my milk. And this is actually about 1/4 cup of chia. I'm making a larger portion. I wouldn't normally eat that much. I would do about 4 tablespoons, but this is 1/4 cup. I'm putting in a teaspoon of cardamom because that's one of my favorite dessert flavors, and I'm putting in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm using oat milk for this one. You can use any non-dairy milk. I put my fruit in with my chia and cardamom. When that's all in, I will mix in my flavored milk. Remember, I put vanilla in it. And then this is going to sit overnight, and what's going to happen is the chia seeds are going to expand because remember, they are a soluble fiber. So they're going to drink up all that liquid, and in the morning it will be not watery at all as you see it here, but more like a pudding. So my mason jar will go in my refrigerator and it will sit overnight.
I hope you try this recipe and like it. You can swap out your favorite food for mine, your particular milk, or even your flavorings. And I hope you give it a try. I also hope that I gave you something to think about by sharing my story and some starter ideas for developing a lifestyle of eating foods that help you to thrive for a long time to come. The start of 2021 could be a great time to sign on to the free PCRM 21-day vegan program with meal plans, recipes, and advice from nutrition experts at the link provided. The only perfect journey is the one you are on. My intention in sharing mine is to show what can happen when you go deeper into what resonates with you. My clients and even my family and friends will say that an increased consumption of plant foods as a main form of sustenance and a decrease or elimination of animal foods has provided the health that even professionals have said was impossible. The only way to know for yourself is to try. You really have nothing to lose but a few pounds and some unneeded toxins. You can try a plant-based whole foods diet for 2 weeks, 21 days, or every other day for 2 weeks. You can even incorporate a cheat day or two, which helps compare the difference you feel when you eat one way or the other. The most important thing to do besides checking in with your physician or nutritionist if you decide to make changes is to listen to your own body. I recommend starting a food journal even before you make changes. Write down what you eat for 2 weeks and don't tweak it. Just record without judgment. Slip a plant-based meal in there or two. Have a plant-based day where all your meals are plant-based. This is your way of collecting data. After each entry, record how you feel immediately after and for the next 72 hours. It takes approximately 30 minutes to digest fruit. Water foods like watermelon takes 20 minutes, while dense bananas take 30. Cruciferous vegetables like kale, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage take about 45 minutes. Meat and fish can take 2 days. It's vital to record how your body reacts to food after you eat. Notice any slight changes in sleep patterns, moods, skin, puffiness around the eyes, energy level, digestion, and write it down. It's important information. There's a bundle of information in our guts. We just need to listen to it. Be well, everyone. I'm Rebecca Johnson, your health supportive plant-based chef, encouraging you to eat more plants. See you next time.